Hey guys, my name is Chris and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to give you a glimpse inside how to make this modern style coffee table using only one sheet of Baltic birch plywood. Want to see how we did it? Stay tuned. Let's go. Like I said before, thank you guys so much for joining me, and let's just jump into this project. We're going to take a 5x5 sheet of Baltic birch plywood that's 1/2 inch in thickness, and we're going to start ripping it down into 3-inch strips. We're going to save a little bit for something later, and you're going to see why in just a second. So I take said strips and I go ahead and layer them in multiples of 3, putting glue in between each one and brad nails just like you see here. Here's a quick tip though. When you're using brad nails as your only fastener besides glue, I like to angle each of the corresponding brad nails about 10 degrees in either direction, giving you a really strong hold. This is something I've done for years and it seems to work pretty well. Now this next step, I'm going to take all those 3-inch strips we've made and I'm going to cut them down to size into 12-inch pieces. I've enlisted my crosscut sled and a stop block. However, this process can be done on the miter saw as well. Now we make our way to the jointer and we're going to joint each of these edges, because when you glue all those 3 strips together, the edges can be a little imperfect. This is just going to make sure that each surface is true for gluing up later on. With all the pieces cut to size now, it's time to do some sanding. We're gonna sand down the tops, the bottoms, the edges, and we're gonna put a hand chamfer on the edges, if you can see there. It's gonna give it some visual interest when the whole thing is put together. So here's the remaining piece of plywood that did not get cut into 3-inch sections, and rightfully so. We need this because this is gonna give us some structural support on the bottom of the table. First, we're gonna angle our table saw blade to 45 degrees. We're gonna set our fence up. We're gonna take a pass to just barely take off one edge, flip it around and barely take off the other. Now I have to do it on the short sides as well, and to safely do so, I'm using my panel cutting sled to make those cuts. As you can see here, it works pretty well. So at this point in the design process, I reached out to my followers on Instagram and I asked them, should I leave the table straight? Should I stagger the pieces? Should the stagger grow as the table gets longer? Or should I angle them slightly? Well, the staggered pieces won, and that's what we're gonna do right now. After striking the line 1/2 inch up on the pieces, every other piece is then moved up to match that line, and it gives you a nice staggered look. As you can see here, I'm just testing out how this is gonna come together before the glue up. At this point in the video, I want to thank Rockler for sending me the glue accessories you're seeing me use in this video, and also the aluminum bar clamps that are so handy in putting things together like you see here. If you've never been to Rockler.com, I'm going to link their site down below along with the products that I've used in this video. Show them some love, give them a visit. Thank you so much, Rockler. Now, taking some measurements to center this bottom support piece, I'm simply going to screw this in, no glue necessary, and this is going to give it that extra support we need moving forward. And now I'm going to put a coat of clear on these hairpin legs before installing them using these panhead screws. As you can see here, I line them up at each of the 4 corners and install them just like so. And just like that, you got yourself a table. Now the first step in the finishing process is to flood the table with what I'm using is walnut oil. You can use boiled linseed oil or tung oil, whatever you want, and then let it dry overnight. Then I take some polyurethane and I essentially make my own wipe-on polyurethane by thinning it out just a little bit with mineral spirits and applying it thusly with a rag. So the reason I'm doing a wipe-on coat, the first coat, is that it gives me a very easy surface to sand flush, giving me fewer air bubbles when I apply the full strength later on. As you can see here, I've already sanded this down. I've applied 1 coat, sanded it again, and what you're seeing me apply here is the 2nd coat of full strength polyurethane. I check to make sure that everything looks good, I got even coverage, and I do, and now we're good to go. And once this cures, this project is complete. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us for this project. We definitely appreciate the support and you guys being here all the way to the end. It's very much appreciated. Again, if you want to subscribe to the channel, we always invite you to do that. We got a few more videos over there as well, and we thank you so much for being here. Guys, my name is Chris. This has been A Glimpse Inside, and we will see you on that next project. Enjoy. Bye-bye. Mwah. Ready? Let's go. Bye.